Hello, geometry students. Here is 5.3 day 2, some more work on proving triangles congruent. There's going to be a couple questions that are the same as some of the questions you saw yesterday. And then we're going to be looking at a handful of full proofs that you guys are going to be doing. We're getting back into the swing of things with proofs. I am going to make a second video, a real quick one, just on going through a full proof on Alex so we can see how to add steps and complete the proofs on Alex with typing things in and stuff like that. But for now, we're going to go through the notes now, and then that second video with a little bit of guidance on how to do it on Alex will also be posted on the checklist. So just to talk about these first ones real quick. So remember, we're looking at what's being given. So what's being given with these congruency marks, we have one pair of congruent sides, we have a second pair of congruent sides, and we have a third pair of congruent sides. So now our job is first of all to say if we have enough information given to say if they're congruent, and right now we do, because if we have all three sides congruent, that is the side theorem. So you would say that for the drop down. Now in naming it, again, we have to go in that same order as the first one is named, so GHI. So here it's a little tougher when you don't have angles marked congruent, but the colors will help, or you can go by the congruency marks. So the G comes first. That's where the one congruency line meets the two congruency lines, or with our colors, where the red meets the green, and that's happening here at K. The second one is that H. So the H is where the two congruency marks meets the three congruency marks, or again, our colors help that here, where the green meets the blue. That's going to be J, and then the last one left over is L. So they're congruent. Triangle GHI is congruent to triangle KJL by the side theorem. Now this problem here, we didn't exactly see this type of situation in the notes yesterday. You might have come across it in the homework. I wanted to make sure we talked about it here as well, in case you were thrown off a little bit. The example in the homework yesterday where we were saying that they weren't necessarily congruent was they only had two congruency marks. Here they do have three congruency marks each, but what you'll notice is on the first triangle we have angle, side, angle being marked, and in the second side, or in the second triangle, we see that that angle, side, angle is then congruent to an angle, and a side. Since they're not laid out in the same order, since we don't have an angle, side, angle in order on both triangles, or an angle, angle, side in order on both triangles, we cannot say that they are congruent right now. So they're not necessarily congruent because they don't have one of those congruence theorems in the same order on both triangles. And then the last one that we're going to look at here, you've got an angle, and a side being congruent to an angle, and a side. So angle, angle, side, angle, angle, side. So we can go ahead and say that they are congruent by the angle, angle, side theorem, which they both hold that same form in that same order. Now, naming it is a little easier in this problem when you have the angles marked with some congruencies. So angle A, the A comes first in the first triangle. So we're looking at A, that's the angle with two congruency marks. That's going to match up with the other angle that has two congruency marks. The two that are congruent are corresponding. So then that's going to be E that starts that triangle's naming. The second one in the first triangle is angle B. So that angle doesn't have any congruency marks in what's given. So it's going to be corresponding to the other angle that doesn't have any congruency marks. So that's going to be D. And then the last one left over is the F. And if you notice, that's the angle with one congruence mark. That's going to be corresponding to C, which also has one congruence mark. Now, when we look at full proofs here today, again, like I said, I will have another quick video walking through a proof on Alex. But here, we'll just be writing it down as we go. And if we remember, we always need to start with everything that's given. So what's being given, first of all, RS is congruent to ST. Well, let's mark that. RS is congruent to ST. So segment RS to segment ST. And the reason that we're able to say that is because it's some given information. Okay. Then SU bisects angle RST. Well, let's write that down. SU bisects angle RST. Again, that is given information. Now, when we go ahead and mark that, since it's bisecting RST, we know that those two angles are going to end up congruent. But we have to actually state that they're congruent. So this was a piece of information that will lead us to be able to say they're congruent, but you have to actually state that. So now we need to go ahead and say that angle RSU, you could say USR, so angle RSU is congruent, and since we named it with R first, we're going to have to go TSU. So angle RSU is congruent to angle TSU. And the reason for that, well, they just told us that it's being bisected, so that's just going to be definition of angle bisector. So there are going to be some instances where you have to add lines here today in these proofs. That's part of why I'm making that extra video, so that we're making sure we know how to do that. And then right now, so I will kind of get rid of some of this stuff. Let's clean up these markings so we can see it a little more clearly. Right now, we know that RS and ST are congruent. We know that RSU and TSU are congruent. Now, we have to find something else that we can state as congruent to be able to use one of those theorems. Well, there's two ways to kind of think about it. You can either look for, well, I have a side and then an angle, so I could try to do these angles for angle, side, angle. I could try to do these angles for angle, angle, side. You could kind of try to think about what your next move might have to be, or the easier way to kind of get it done is, what is the diagram giving you that you can go ahead and prove, and then eventually you'll find yourself with one of those theorems being stated. Right now, one that is always immediate that you can say, especially in these diagrams where they share a side, is SU is congruent to SU. Remember, we talked about that a little bit yesterday. It's that side that both triangles share. So we can say segment, SU is congruent to segment SU, and that is the reflexive property. So now that we've got that, we have a side, we have an angle, and we have a side in both triangles. So we have enough information, side, angle, side, to go ahead and state that we have proven those two triangles congruent. So triangle RUS we can now say is congruent to triangle, I think it was TUS, yep. And we know that by the side, angle, side theorem, because we've proven a side, an angle, and a side congruent. Okay, so that one would be done there. Your next example, here again, let's start with what's being given. So far we have, well, to keep my colors in order here. So far right now, we're being told that BC is congruent to DC. So segment BC is congruent to segment DC. That is given. We are also being told that AC is congruent to EC. So segment AC is congruent to segment EC. That is also given information. So let's mark that up so that we can see what's going on. So BC to DC and AC to EC. All right, again, we can think about, well, what do I need to go ahead and add here for a statement to be able to say they're congruent? Well, the two that pop out to me are either finding a way to do those two sides or a way to do those two angles in the middle for either side, 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 or side, angle, side. Well, you can think about where do I need to go, what do I have to try and prove, or what is this diagram giving me? And that's usually the easier route to go. This diagram is giving you something we've seen a lot of with these two angles that face each other, kissing angles, or the proper term, vertical angles. So you've got this diagram with two vertical angles facing each other. Those are going to be congruent. So let's make sure we name them appropriately. So let's say DCE. So for step 3, angle DCE. Okay, DCE is congruent. So we started at D. Excuse me. So then the next one is going to be BCA. Okay, that order, I picked D first. That's at the far end of the first congruent line. B is at the far end of the first congruent line. So we do have to make sure those are named appropriately, getting in that habit right away. So DCE is congruent to BCA. Angle BCA. And that's going to be because they're vertical angles. So at this point, we've done enough. At this point, we have a side, an angle, and a side congruent in both of them. So we can go ahead and prove that final statement. So ABC is congruent to EDC. So triangle ABC is congruent to triangle, what was it up here? EDC. And the reason that we ended up finding out was because we had a side, an angle, and a side congruent. Okay, so that's what you're going to be looking at today. Today's homework on Alex is a little heavy on the full proofs. That's kind of the new thing we're doing today. So again, the second video on your checklist is going to be a quick run through of a proof on Alex, so you guys can kind of see how that works and not have troubles with operating that. Okay, have a great rest of your day and keep working hard.